The video I'm doing today is a balayage video with a zigzag pattern. The pattern I'm doing is a pretty strong zigzag. I first do all the sections in the back, leave them out first and clip them up. It's just a lot easier to control them instead of bringing them all the hair down each time and trying to get that pattern in there. The zigzag, my goal here is to make it almost the zigzags brick lay together. The highlight look that I would like today is going to have a more ribbony look, if that makes sense. Besides this first panel here, I want them to be finer along the edges so they don't look chunky. So when she puts her hair up, it's more natural. She had her hair highlighted a couple months ago. Not too light, but she'd like to be a little bit blonder on the ends. She was foiled with finer highlights. But we're still going to add some dimension, and here are some lowlights with shades of Q gloss. As I go up the hair, you'll see the different techniques that I use with each section. Each section deserves its own pattern. Not all highlights should be always uniform in every section around the head. You kind of do what that section needs to achieve the look that you're going for. Right here, I'm going to split this next back one in half. And as you see where I split it, you can see the wide sections, they're about 1 inch thick. And basically it's like an upside down triangle is how I look at it. So I'll be putting the lightener on the peak of that triangle, which is the top there. So the underneath, the wider part of the triangle will be more of the depth. So when you lay the hair down, you'll see that dimension in there. So sorry, it's kind of a sucky view right now. I kind of kicked the camera over, I believe, but it does get better. I forgot to add that even though I am painting the lightener on the peaks of the sections of the triangle, the other half of the zigzag, so underneath, there's obviously peaks down there too. Those, I am taking the tip of those peaks out to add dimension so those ends don't get lightened, because I don't want every single hair lightened on the ends. I want a lot of it lightened, but not all of it. As you see right here, I am going to be painting the panels a little bit wider. I'm not going to just get the peak, but I'm going to get the edge of that peak, or that triangle per se, to have more of a wider section of hair lightened. I want more of a ribbony look on the top and around the face. And this is how I'm going to do that. It's not going to be that whole section. Again, I'm not pushing the lightener all the way through to the other side. I'm only laying the lightener on top of those sections. And of course, because of my awesome recording skills, you can't really see the top tip right there, but you can tell what the idea I'm doing. I want to add a short V there because I want to not look like a solid line, obviously, as it grows out. And the underneath will have the dimension there. I'm not pushing that lightener all the way through. I am only putting it on the top of that section of that panel. As it gets to the ends, I do saturate them thoroughly. Now right here is the area in the crown where her natural whirl is. I want to make sure that she has some lightness right there in case her hair naturally splits, or she wears it half up or whatnot, or if it's a windy day and somebody's standing behind her. She doesn't want anybody to see that a dark spot right there. Actually, here's a good view, kind of, sort of me taking those peaks out. That's what I'm talking about, the underneath peaks. I'm taking those out. That's my dimension. That's what stays dark all the way through to the ends. And as you can see here, because as you get towards the top, she had a partial highlight before, and where that line is, that's where I'm painting now the low light. And I lied before an accident about the color I use. It's the shades EQ Creams. This is the 5WB. with 10 volume, and I'm only painting it at that line and softening and blending it through down a little bit because I don't want to darken her ends any more than what they are. Just want to keep that line of demarcation, those old highlights from showing. Again, I apologize for the horrible videotaping. I promise the rest will be better, but I'm just want to make sure that you guys know I am saturating the ends. You can't see it, but I am doing the overlay on top from the root down to the mid shaft, and on those ends I am making sure to push the lightener all the way through on both sides, and I actually take the balayage board and use it to flip it over and make sure I got the other side. And the under piece, since you're not putting the lightener all the way through to the other side of the whole way, you want to flip it over and make sure it is softened and blended up. That way you don't have blotches that you can't see. Here I'm going to take these panels, I'm going to section them off with the top one's already out, sectioning that one out, getting that piece out of the way, getting the hairs around the face out of the way because I don't want to lighten those yet. I want to have more control over them. And then I'm just going to paint over top of that panel, make it a wide highlight, and make it really soft up to the root. And then as I get to the ends again, I'm going to saturate them. And then I'm going to do that with the next two panels. Since that section right there in that foil is darkened, I want to make sure I put a highlight right on the opposite side of it. That's why I started on that left side. Now I'm doing the right side, making a V. This is where she parts, so we want it to be softer again at the root area, of course, with a wider section as we go down. Around the face right here, I am doing a wider panel again. Right, it's not along the hairline. It may look like it, but I did take the finer hairs right along the hairline out, so it will look softer around the face. And it's hard to tell, but I'm lifting that section up and doing the underneath part of it. So I'm just pretty much doing the opposite of what I've been doing, where usually I over top and then blend in the underneath. It's almost like I just flipped it over and did it this way. Again, her hair is naturally curly, so this would look really, really good. So as it curls, that blonde will really show through. And right here, I'm going to put the dark again to diffuse that line. Sorry, my daughter is not very quiet at doing the dishes. But hey, she's doing them, so I'm not complaining. I'm taking out her hairline right here, a very fine weave, just so it's not too heavy around her face. Did the same to the other side. Here I took out the foils and I did rinse her out with a chillier water because I didn't want the dark formula toning down the blonde. What I always do when I'm rinsing out my client, especially when they're going to be laying there for a while, I have cushions for the neck, but I also lay down a towel and make sure they're super comfortable, because the last thing you want is somebody laying there uncomfortable and not wanting to say anything to you. Combed the hair out really good, sectioned it off, and started in the back working my way up with Shades EQ Gloss 7NB. Just taking my partings. I start from the bottom and go to the top while hanging onto the hair above. It's just a lot easier. I'm going to be combing it through and blending it in anyways. She looks like she's about to fall asleep right here, but that's because she's been here a while, but she sure has been a trooper. After combing it through, I laid her back in the sink. I had a little bit of 7NB left in the bottle. Then I added some 9NB and some 9GI to the formula, and then ran that through the ends, let it sit for 10 minutes, then rinsed her out. Shampooed, conditioned her with the Balayage Therapy the keratin that you see in the background there, shampoo and conditioner. It's amazing. As I'm putting the toner on the ends, I do make sure to melt the root toner through to the end toner so they blend together well. After I'm done, I take her over. I use Pillow Proof Primer from Redken and Redken Guts to blow dry her and put a nice soft curl in her hair. And the end result is this really pretty ribbony dimensional hair color. It's very natural. It grew up perfectly. She is a college student and wants something that's going to last her a while, and this is perfect. She loved it. She has great hair too, by the way, so that does help. Thank you for watching, by the way, and if there's anything else you'd like to see me do, I'm always up for a challenge, so please like and or comment below. Thanks!